What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Hope you all are having a great day so far. Um, Getting into this episode, GH, I like this episode. For the most part, I loved it. I ain't even gonna say I liked it. I actually loved a lot of it. Um, I'm enjoying the Davis women scenes. I really am. And I'm glad, Molly had that opportunity to talk with her sisters and stuff like that because Christina thought that the pregnancy test was Sam's, but she grabbed the wrong bag. You know what I'm saying? She took the pregnancy test out of the wrong bag. She thought it was Sam bag. That was Molly bag. um, and I get where Molly coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like about being nervous about having a child and stuff, about potentially having a child because she's worried about what TJ's gonna feel, like how he's gonna feel about it. And for me, I feel like TJ would be happy about it. I mean, is the timing perfect? No. I mean, to me, having a child is never gonna be. It's never gonna be the right time to have a child. It's never gonna be the right time. You know what I'm saying? Financial issues sometimes and career stuff. And it's just something always gonna go on to, make it feel like, oh, now ain't the right time to have a baby, and then you go on waiting years and years. It's always something. So when it happens, it happens. You just gotta let it happen. You know what I mean? Um, and I think TJ will be happy about it. I mean, they both have busy careers. That's true. Her working in the DA's office and him being a doctor, they work a lot of long ass hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, it be like that. But I feel like they can still devote time to a child. And besides, they got family, they got a support system. So if they ever need babysitters and whatnot, they got them. And the hospital has a daycare center. So they can bring the child to daycare and stuff at the hospital. So that way TJ could still be in the same, building as a child. And when he got a moment, he could pop in on the child. So I think it'll work. Um, and I'm glad Christina asked Molly, like, how do you feel? You know what I mean? Because Molly was worried about how TJ felt, and she was worried about their careers because they are in the beginning stages of their careers and they want to be more established first before they had a child, which is understandable, but that's life. Everything doesn't always go according to plan. Um, but I'm glad, Molly was honest about how she felt. She was like, she really wanted a baby, you know? So I'm happy for her. Hopefully, she take that test and it comes back positive. I think it'll be a blessing. But even if it comes back negative, I'm like, when they're really like deep down ready, like I said, you can't ever fully be ready for it because it just happens. They'll know when it's time or whatever, and it'll happen. Let nature take its course. Um, it was so funny though when Sam asked Dante about the pregnancy test because she asked him like what, like how would he feel if that pregnancy test really was hers, and he was like, he would be excited about it. And I felt like Dante gave the most honest answer I think anybody can give. Like he was like he would of course be happy about it, but he was like the way that their life is right now, he's happy with the kids that they got. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? They got 3 kids between them. He got his son, she got her 2 kids. Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Dante feels. I mean, their kids are older now, so they're a little bit more independent. You ain't got to deal with them 2 a.m. feedings and diaper changes every 5 seconds and all that whining in the middle of the night during the day and nannies and all that mess. You ain't got to worry about that, and I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? He would be happy, but honestly, it's like 3 is enough. I'm not mad at that. Um, I got a feeling that they might get a little surprised in terms of a baby because for all we know, Sam could be pregnant. She just hasn't bought a test. Um, but my thing is, if they do get pregnant, they definitely gonna have to move the hell about that penthouse because I highly doubt that penthouse is big enough for all of them. Like it's a nice penthouse, but I don't think it's meant for no family. You know, I really don't because they already got 5 people living up in that penthouse. If they were to have another baby, it would be a family of 6. Now you think a family of 6 can live up in there? I don't think so. They're gonna have to get something else or move back to Dante and Lulu's. If he still has that house, cause I don't think he sold it. Did he? I don't remember Dante saying he sold the house. I think they just packed it up and he just moved in with Sam. So I don't think he sold. But either way, they're gonna have to move up out of here. That place ain't big enough. So anyway, moving on from that, BLQ. Mm-mm-mm. I love the conversation between her and Sasha. I did because I felt like Sasha came at her on some real shit. Sasha came at her woman to woman. You know what I'm saying? No games, no double talk, none of that. Sasha was very clear and let her know, like, for one, there's nothing going on between her and Chase. She said, she's still grieving her husband, so she's not even ready to date anybody. Come on now. Um, she's still on her journey of sobriety and grieving and stuff like that. So she's not even thinking about dating anybody. And she let BLQ know, even if she did have feelings for Chase and want to date him, it's not going to happen for her because, one, like she said, she's still grieving her husband. Two, Chase is not over BLQ. So she's not going to put herself in that type of situation. I felt like Sasha really did come at her on some woman to woman real shit, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. And BLQ talking about she leaving Deception to focus more on her music career and being a manager and stuff of new artists and all that. I was actually happy about that. And Sasha wanted to make sure that she wasn't quitting Deception because she thinks something going on between Sasha and Chase. But I'm actually happy for BLQ because music is her passion. Deception, I think she did well there, but it wasn't her passion. You know what I'm saying? That's Lucy's passion. That's Maxie's passion. Sasha, that's their baby. You know what I'm saying? That's not really hers. So I don't blame her for wanting to cut out and do something that's actually fulfilling her. You know what I mean? And music fulfills her. That's her first love. You know what I mean? So I'm actually happy about that. It's about time she get in the music business. Because I've been saying ever since she came back to the show that she should talk to Ned, and Valentine or whoever running EOQ these days, talk to them about reviving L&B Records, and she could be the CEO of the record company. Like, she could make that company huge. She could turn it into a huge entertainment juggernaut. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that should have been the story. It still could be. You know what I'm saying? One day it still could be. But I'm happy for her in that aspect. She wants to go back to doing something that she loves, and I think a lot of people should. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel stifled at whatever job you're at. Do something that feeds your soul. You know what I'm saying? That you actually have a passion for. But she was kind of irritating me sitting there talking about she over Chase. No, you're not. I'm like, BLQ, no, you're not. If she was really over Chase, she wouldn't have been worried about who he dating, who he moving on with. You know what I'm saying? When you're over somebody, why would you be thinking about what they're doing and who they're doing it with? That wouldn't even cross your mind because you're over that person. So she's definitely not over him. And I felt bad for Chase when he overheard that conversation. He overheard her say that she focusing on her music career. She's over him. You know what I'm saying? I felt bad because he obviously went there based off the conversation that he had with his father. Because his father tried to come up with some cover story at the hospital talking about, oh, he there for medication for his migraines. I'm like, sir, something else is going on with you, but we're going to get on that later. But, he gave Chase some advice. He was like, yeah, BLQ is a lot to handle, and yeah, she might piss you off and drive you crazy sometimes, but you should try to pursue her. If you still have feelings for her, you shouldn't just let that go by the wayside. You should confront that. You know what I'm saying? See if y'all could work that out. So I think that's what Chase was going to do. You know what I'm saying? He was going to work that out until he overheard that little conversation with her. Now I think he's just going to let it go. And I really wish him and BLQ wouldn't play these games, like, about their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all clearly got feelings for each other, but y'all keep playing this ring around the rosy shit, and it's annoying. Especially with BLQ. It's like, you obviously are not over this man, so talk to him and see if y'all can get back together. If y'all can work things out instead of just closing the door. Because I ain't got time to sit here and watch them go through another few months of miscommunication, not being real with each other, because they did that before. They did that before. Months and months went by and they were not honest with each other, and that shit is annoying. And Maxie was working my nerve a little bit. Like, that's why people need to mind the business that paid them. Because she confronted Chase. Well, she bumped into Chase because she was going there to check on Austin or whatever. And Chase was like, oh, he pulled the muscle and stuff. That's why he at the hospital. So Maxie was like, oh, you pulled the muscle, showing off of your new girl or whatever. And he was like, what the hell are you talking about? He was like, him and Sasha are not dating. And I'm glad Maxie apologized to him for overstepping and, being messy. Because I'm like, see, you got secondhand information from somebody who didn't have all the facts. And now you ran with something that wasn't factual and made yourself look like an ass. That's why I say, people need to mind their business. I'm like, that's not your business. Even if he was dating somebody, why are you stirring the pot, Maxie? Mind your business. Like, people just... Ugh. So anyway, Alexis, being nosy, called PCU, and she found out that Gregory no longer even works at PCU, and he hasn't worked at PCU all semester. I said, well, damn. I'm like, what the hell is this man up to? Like, you ain't worked at that school all semester? What is he hiding? Like, he got a medical condition or something? Like, what's going on with him? Um, and Diane pretty much had a good warning for Alexis. She let her know, like, listen, proceed with caution. You know what I'm saying? Because all of this is very, like, red flag, alarming. And it is. Come like this man lying to you left and right about why he can't join the invader, lying to you about his job. Like, tread lightly, Alexis, because you don't know this man from a can of paint. You don't know what skeletons he got. If he could be a serial killer for all we know. Like, we don't know what that man hiding. You know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with Diane. Proceed with caution. Um, so she called Gregory to her office to help her out with something, and she asked him. She was like, "So why are you lying to me?" Like, she confronted him, and I don't blame her. Like, what are you lying about? Like, what is it that you don't want to know? And I think he definitely gonna flip out on her about checking up on him at the job. Because if it was me, I ain't gonna front you. I may lie to you about something, but don't be calling my place of business or my former place of business checking up on me. Like, don't you dare. So ain't no telling what he gonna do. So anyway, moving on from that, I will say I give Spencer credit. Like, he's going through the motions of trying to be a good guardian to this child. And I appreciate that. He got books and stuff on parenting. He got a car seat that he's trying to learn how to use. Um, I admire that. He's really stepping up to the plate. But I do have to agree with Laura. He's not ready for this type of challenge. You know what I'm saying? Because it is. I mean, you're talking about a lifetime commitment. Because raising a child, it takes a whole village. It takes a lot. I don't think he's really ready for. Plus you're sacrificing your youth, you know, for this child. You know what I mean? And like I said, I can appreciate that because most people wouldn't do that. They wouldn't think to do it, but he didn't hesitate to take on that challenge. But he's not ready. It's a lot that goes into that. Um, so of course Victor pops up talking about, oh, he found a new home for Spencer and the baby and stuff like that, and he wanted to meet the baby. And Spencer went to go check in on that and whatnot, and Laura, he tried to accuse Laura of trying to keep him from his family because Laura made it clear and Spencer made it clear that they're staying with Laura and Kevin and stuff. And Victor talking about, oh well, Laura already got enough on her plate. And I'm like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what she has on her plate. That's her grandchild. You know what I'm saying? And that's her great grandchild. Well, grandchild, whatever. I'm getting all confused. I'm like, because I forgot that Nicholas is the father of the child, so they say. I don't know why. For a minute, I thought I kept thinking Spencer was the father, but then I was like, nah, it was Nicholas. I'm like, these stories got me all spent around. Um, Too much going on. You gotta juggle a lot of this shit in your brain. Like, who the daddy it is? Who the mama it is? Like, it's like brain overload. So yeah, I'm like, at the end of the day, Victor, go sit your little smarmy self down, because we all know Victor is about self, and I'm glad Laura put him in his place and let him know, like, you not having full access to your family or your family not wanting to deal with you, that's on you. You only got yourself to blame for that. And she let him know that his day is coming, his downfall is coming, and she was like, that shit gonna be glorious. She ready to take Victor ass out. So Victor got to meet the baby and whatnot, hold the child, and promising a great life for the baby and all this type of stuff. And that's when Diane showed up. And Diane was like, "There's been a change of plans. Like, the baby's not going home with Spencer." I said, "No, wait a minute. What's going on here? Did somebody block the paperwork or something? Like, what's the deal? Who's getting the child? Please tell me Victor ain't try to pull no move to where he get custody of this child." Because Victor, he got enough juice to kind of pull the rug out, which I wouldn't understand him doing because he was all gung ho about Spencer stepping up to the plate to raise a child. We all know Victor ain't trying to raise no damn child at his old age. So I wonder what's going on with that. So moving on from that, Eileen, they played the shit out of Eileen. That little ghost figure of Anna's, that shit was creepy as hell. Um, and they even got Eileen and to make a confession and admit everything. um And that's when Anna came in or whatever like that. And the person that was laying on the slab that looked like a zombie version of Anna, that was Felicia under all that makeup and mask and all that stuff. I said that shit look real as hell. They played the hell out of Eileen. And you know, Eileen sitting there talking about, oh, that confession that you got, that was coerced, that'll never hold up in court. And Anna wasn't phased. Anna said, you're right, it may not hold up in court, but I could still play it for the general public. And she said, if I do, your career is over. And she know it. Um, and Eileen sitting there talking about, okay, fine, I'll make sure that the charges against you are dropped. Because Eileen was the one who set up the what they call that thing? The I forgot what the fuck they call that little thingy. Like Eileen was the one who set up that drone that captured Felicia shooting I mean not Felicia, Holly shooting Lucy. So she's the one that set all that up, and you know she admitted to helping Victor and setting all this up and doing X, Y, and Z. So she was like, you know, I'm gonna get the charges dropped against you. And Anna was like, fuck that, I want more than that. She said, I want you to help take Victor down, testify against him, give us some evidence on him. And she was like, no, because if I do all that, Victor gonna kill me. Anna brought up a good point. She was like, well, Victor could possibly kill you if you do help us. But she was like, if you don't help us and I release this audio of your confession and that shit goes public, Victor's going to kill you anyway, which he will. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a loose end now. You know what I'm saying? It's out in the public of what you did, which could lead back to him. So, of course, he's going to ice your ass. So, you're dead either way. So, you might as well help. At least if you're working with them, you know what I'm saying, they can help protect you from Victor. Because if you're not gonna work with them and they release that, you're fucked. You ain't got no protection. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, I mean, what are you gonna do? You damn if you do, damn if you don't. So the options of staying alive are better if you work with them. You know, she said, and Anna let her know. She was like, listen, if I play this to the public, your political career is dead. You're not gonna work anywhere. I mean, she could still get a job somewhere. I mean, Jiffy Lube is always hiring, and you got McDonald's, and you know, there's always being an entrepreneur. She could always sell oranges on the freeway, because Lord knows if she did that job, if she created that little business, that little hustle, I would definitely pull up on the freeway, you know, buy like 2 oranges from Eileen, and you know, just to toss her a little business or whatever. So you know, she got a little bit of options. You know, Jiffy Lube always hire, especially McDonald's. If you can't get a job at McDonald's, that means your resume just read like the obits, because McDonald's always need help. Then there's Popeyes. I hope she like chicken, because fried chicken, I don't know, some people just don't like the smell or the touch of fried chicken, I guess. But you know, I hope she do. Popeyes is a good place for her to work. I think that'll work for her. But she better do something. She ain't got no choice but to work with them at this point. Cause I'm like, it's either that or you die. You know. At least this way you got some protection from them. So I mean, that's her best bet if you want to be honest about it. But Victor is definitely about to go down. Hopefully this plan goes off without a hitch. Because you know Victor, he always 2 steps ahead of people, so they gotta be very careful and meticulous about this thing here. But anyway, that's pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comments, let me know what you all thought, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Peace.